Geminis, how are you guys? Hope you guys had a great April. I am here to talk to you about May. So if you're feeling weird, which I think people are starting to feel a little bit better now, it's been quite the winter starting from January. The energies have just been, especially in the sky, plus in the world, the energies have just been bonkers. So I feel like we're finally getting to a place of stability. With the spring coming in, all the new life coming in, we're definitely starting to feel rejuvenated and much better, depending on where you are in the world, of course. But here in Canada, you go and people are just a little bit nicer now. We have like 5 planets in retrograde, so that's definitely aiding and also abetting the the situation right now. So we have Jupiter in retrograde, which Jupiter is the planet of optimism and expansion. So when that's retrograde, we can feel like our luck has run out. We can feel less optimistic about life. We can just not feel as joyful as usual. Then we have Pluto in retrograde, and Pluto is the planet of transformations and death and taboo subjects, sex. So things like that are getting brought back up to be reassessed, and the Scorpios and the water signs around you will be acting a little bit more introverted, a little bit more, they're going to be more internalizing their emotions and their problems instead of talking so much about it. But if you know any Scorpios, they hardly talk already, so depending on their moon sign. Then we have Venus just went direct, which was great because we needed that to go direct. But then we still have Mercury retrograde, and Mercury is ruled by Gemini, or vice versa. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury retrograde, if you haven't heard the horror stories about Mercury retrograde, but Mercury retrograde, you don't want to be signing any contracts. You don't want to be buying any machinery, any computers. Definitely back up your computers. Definitely have some resilience and some what's the word I'm looking for that starts with an R? Just be more relaxed when it comes to communications. If you feel like you can't get through to someone, if you just feel like you're on a different wavelength, that's Mercury retrograde crap, and that will go direct in May, like around May 8th. So we're definitely, don't sign anything. If you can hold off, don't sign anything. And then I think it's either Neptune or Uranus. So sorry that I don't know for sure that is retrograde as well. So we have like a ton of planets that are in retrograde right now, and it's just really making us scale back a bit and really question where we're going, what we're doing, why we're doing it, our motives, and just really focusing internally on what we want to accomplish as opposed to heading out. The new moon in Taurus that just passed would really allow us to set the groundwork for what we want to accomplish this year, because this year in numerology terms, this is a year to be beginning new projects if you want them to be successful and sustain you for the next 8 years. So we still have a little bit of time that just passed from the new moon to start writing down our manifestations for what we want to accomplish come the full moon. So start writing it out, figuring out what you want to get done this year, because this is the year you want to start it. And Taurus, the new moon in Taurus, has really helped us plant those seeds. Okay, so these readings for May aren't going to be as long because May is all about changes. So it's kind of hard to harness that May energy when it's so chaotic. And that's exactly how May is going to feel for everybody. Just very chaotic, a lot of changes, wanting to change, wanting more freedom, changes to our freedom. It's a 5 month, so it's really going to be causing some chaos, okay? Okay, I got a new deck of cards, and I've been loving the imagery off these ones. It's Universal Tarot. I just want to contact my spirit guides. Please help me read for Gemini, May 2017. Okay, I'm going to cut the deck. May 2017 for Geminis. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so it's going to be a quick one. Here we go. Okay, great. Okay, so the theme is really focused more on intuition. There's some people here. We have an air sign, we have an earth sign, we have a water sign, and we have a fire sign. So we have pretty much everything you can ask. This is the theme of this spread. So obviously these people that are going on in your life right now, whoever they may be. So when I say fire, water, air, earth, I mean people who kind of act like that, who it could be their moon sign, it could be their ascent, their rising sign. So who in your life is really focused on finances? Who in your life won't shut up? Who in your life is really emotional, and who in your life is really impulsive? Those are the people that are really impacting your empowerment this month. These are the people who are going to be affecting these changes that are coming in, and also how Mercury is going to treat you. So you have pretty much every sign in the zodiac, every modality in the zodiac, all the elements that are really coming into your life this month. So that's fun. You have an obstacle and an aid, which is new thought, new fierceness, new impulse, new fastness, new strength, new pain, but strength in that aspect. This is what's helping you. This newness that's coming in. Like I said, Mercury retrograde messes with the Geminis 100%, but then also we have the 5 chaos month. So whatever new changes are coming in, especially when it has something to do with these 4 elemental signs, which could always be, 1 or 2 people who encompass all of those modalities. Like some people can be, anyways. So this newness that's coming in is helping your empowerment and what you've built and what you're building. New moon in Taurus, like I said, is all about planting those seeds for new growth. So this new thought, this new strength, this new energy that is coming in might seem like an obstacle, but it is absolutely an aid to helping your progress and manifesting forward. So it may seem you have a lot of new coming in this month, and a lot subconsciously you want some new work. You're getting bored, you want some new work, but like I said, you don't want to be signing any contracts during the Mercury retrograde, because once Mercury goes direct, you're gonna be like, why the hell did I just why did I start this job? Why did I agree to this work? Why did I agree to whatever? But you only subconsciously feel like you need to get a new job, a new money, a new form of new action, put new work out there, because you're thinking that you're destitute. You're thinking like I'm broke. You're thinking like my finances are messed up. You're thinking like your finances are kind of like this, what was I reading where it was, your reputation is like a fine china. When it cracks, it can never be, when it cracks, even if you glue it and put it back together, it's mended, but it can never be as flawless as it was. And that's kind of like how you're feeling when it comes to your finances right now. Just really feeling like it's so delicate, like it could shatter at any minute and you could just be out in the cold, and that you don't necessarily have the financial support. You don't have the financial backing in order to move forward. This is all just your thoughts. This is all just your worries. New moon in Taurus can bring a lot of worries in, just because you start to realize like what other people have accomplished, and you realize the security that you may be lacking. But of course you're secure. Of course. It's just that recently you're feeling a little bit more balanced. You're feeling a little bit more spiritually secure. You're feeling a little bit more supported, and you felt like you had more room to kind of breathe and sit down. Just try and go back to those feelings and those emotions and carry them through. I know that's easier said than done, but Mercury retrograde is forcing you to take a look back. Mercury retrograde isn't asking you to make forward steps. It's asking you to take a seat and relax and take a look at what you've accomplished instead of focusing on the next steps constantly. Gemini can be so so quick because they're air signs, because we're both air signs, we get these thoughts and we feel like we have to run with it instantly. So it can be kind of impulsive. And especially with May being very chaotic and a lot of changes to our freedom, that can feel like a push-pull situation. So just flow with it. Just flow with it. You right now are moving away from hard times. You're absolutely supported, but you don't even see the support that you have. Like it's like the invisibility cloak. You know, you have a wizard beside you who's manifesting your dreams and desires, but because that wizard's because Harry's in his invisibility cloak, you don't see that, but you are moving away from harder times. So look to your family and friends, ask them, talk to them. How do they see you? For me, my Geminis, the Geminis in my life, especially my father-in-law, I see him as not destitute. I don't see him like this. I see him as completely empowered. I see him as like, wow, you've come a long way in just even a year. When I look back at how much he's grown and changed and, you know, how much happier he should be. But of course, air signs always looking, and ego, always looking at the next step instead of being like, wow, I've come a long way and I have so much to be grateful for. And that's what Mercury retrograde is urging you to do. Look at how far you've come. Look at how much smooth sailing you have. Look at your horizon. Look at how clear your horizon is. And then take a look back at your rocky past and how hard it was just even a year ago. Okay? Because family and friends are doing really well. They're good. They're connecting the dots in their lives, and they're really using their thought process to gain their empowerment, to gain something that they could be proud of and what they can grow and manifest. So just give them their space, because, you know, sometimes, especially for Geminis, any air sign is always like, well, you should do this. That's kind of like what air signs do. They come up with ideas, where air signs are always the muses to the more grounded signs, because the grounded signs, they don't have their head in the clouds enough to think new ideas. And because air signs have that talent and that ability, we tend to talk and throw our ideas out at other people. And it's the grounded ones who will either catch it and run with it, or will just throw it away. So keep that in mind, that your family and friends are feeling, they just want to kind of chill right now as well. Hope and fear, hoping for, you know, there's like boredom here and apathy. You hope for it, and you also fear for it. So May, like I said, really chaos. You're going to want to be bored. You're going to want to just be like, I need to just chill and do nothing. I want to just focus on me and being grounded and, you know, focusing on what I'm building. But you also fear that boredom, because if a Gemini is not moving, like they're ruled by the third house of short distance travel. If a Gemini is not moving, they could be extremely bored. So keep in mind that you secretly hope for it, but you also fear that boredom. It might be time to just embrace the boredom and let it in. Outcome, May will feel like, you know, your internal self is just taking and taking and taking from you. Your thoughts are taking up all of your mind space, and you can't even have any fun, because all you're doing is worrying about your finances and worrying about your progress, worrying about how people view you, if they're still seeing you in a positive light. It's all in your head. And the good thing about this new thought process that's going on is that it's creating a new emotion for you that you may not have ever felt before. And it's a really humbling experience. It's a very spiritual experience. It's really going to run deep. So let it come through. And Mercury retrograde, this is a great time to start writing out your thoughts and figuring out what you want to accomplish. Okay, so like I said, this isn't going to be a long reading, but I'm going to pull a card for the Indigo Geminis. The Gemini Indigos need a card for May, please. What is the advice for the Indigo Lightworker Geminis? Can I please have a card? Spirit guides. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I'm pulling with it. Share your wisdom. Like I said, Mercury retrograde, like I've said, Mercury retrograde is really a time to, you know, talk things out not so much of action, but definitely regrouping your thoughts. Gemini, you guys are air signs. It's really time to share that wisdom because people are listening. And that wisdom that you have to share is all coming from internal. It's all going to be bringing a new emotion for you. And the best people to do that talking with and to share that wisdom is with these four. You have Queen of Wands, more of an intuitive person, someone who's in a relationship, someone who barefoot in the kitchen type deal, maybe like your mom, someone who had, you know, didn't really, I don't want to say didn't really work, but more of like a, not a single mom, but someone who's mom, very mom-like, but also very empowered in her own right, because they're kind of like, they have like their herbs and they're like witchy in a way, but very abundant emotionally and spiritually. So that's the Queen of Wands. Then you have the Page of Cups, which is a young Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, young water sign, or someone who's very positive and optimistic because maybe they haven't lived, or in your opinion, they haven't lived long enough to even really realize what's going on, but actually their third eye is open, so they actually have some wisdom to share with you as well. And the only way that someone's going to share their wisdom is if there's an energy exchange. So you sharing your wisdom will in turn you'll be able to get something from this young water sign that's going to help you with this new emotion that's coming into your life in May, because air signs are not used to emotions, especially I have absolutely no water signs, no water in my chart at all, so I can completely empathize with other air signs who don't know how to harness their emotional energy. And I married a water sign just to kind of help me understand what I'm feeling, and it's really opened myself up. So if you're feeling like you can't handle this new emotion, I urge you to reach out to this young water sign because they're going to help you get through that. Then you have the Knight of Swords, which is another young air sign, so someone who talks a lot constantly, someone who's just constantly talking, someone who may have had kind of, like I said, a dark cloud over their head, but is really building themselves up and really needs your, you know, when I said that you were thinking that you're financially destitute, that's because as an air sign, you realize when you're not doing too well financially, when you're not doing too good financially. So my advice to you is talk to this air sign, because this air sign will put into perspective how far you've come, because they have had such a crazy past and rough past. But the good thing is that everything keeps going. We're infinite beings who just, you know, we're here to learn and then we carry on. Then you have the Knight of Pentacles. So an earth sign, a young earth sign who, you know, is kind of blind right now to what's going on and to their empowerment and what's empowering them. They're completely blinded by it. They have no idea how to get empowered. They're focused more on the grass being greener on the other side instead of focus on their own grass and watering that. Someone who's not necessarily happy in a relationship, somebody who is more focused on the financial aspects of life and the impulses of life, you know, very impulsive, doing very quick and stupid things. Stupid in somebody's opinion, maybe not in their opinion. So these four people are really going to be your main theme for May, your main source of concern. And indigos, just share your wisdom with them, because if they're coming up in your reading, it means that they need you. And they're going to really help you realize how much you've grown and how much advice and wisdom you're able to give your family and friends. Okay, so hope you guys have an amazing, amazing May. And I will see you guys in June, just in time for summer, okay? Love you guys. Bye.